Hi there everyone, my name is Connor, I'm here at the Leonardtown Library and I'm going to be doing an unboxing video for you all today. So every day we get one of these gray bins from the Southern Maryland Regional Library and it is chock full of books and DVDs that we're going to be putting on our shelves, and I figured we would just take a sneak peek at what's going to be out there. So I actually took the liberty of taking everything out here. Looks like we have a bunch of DVDs to go through and two decent stacks of adult fiction books. So let's start off with the DVDs. First up, we have Season 1 of Star Trek Picard. This takes place 14 years after the events of Star Trek The Next Generation. And it's just a continuation of Patrick Stewart's infamous role as Captain Jean-Luc Picard. This is Season 1, Episodes 1 through 3. I'm not sure if this is a item that we have just reordered, because I think this show's been out for a while now. This is another series that we have, The Beast Must Die. It's an unspeakable tragedy and a mother's revenge, about a mother who is trying to take revenge on the murderer of her husband, and how she gets unintentionally mixed up with who she suspects is the murderer of her husband. This was on AMC. So this is Season 1 as well. We have a DVD here. This is Falling for Figaro. It's about a woman who quits her day job to become an opera star in the Scottish Highlands, and the rigors of vocal lessons that she goes through, and an unexpected romance with a person that she shares the stage with. There we go. This is actually a junior DVD. This is Skywatcher. It's about a boy who longs to see the stars, but because of where he's living, none of them are visible. And it's a story of sacrifice of this boy's mom and how she finds a way to take him camping and see the Milky Way in all its glory. So that's going to be in our junior section there. This is another DVD that we have. It's a romantic comedy, Dating in New York, about two people who met through an app, a dating app, and the contract that they draw up to avoid the pitfalls of past relationships. So what could go wrong there? We have another DVD here. This is a thriller. This is Before the Fire. It's about a global pandemic has engulfed Los Angeles, and a TV star, a rising TV star, who is forced to move back home and confront some dangerous figures of her past. There we go. It's a thriller movie we have. This is actually a non-fiction DVD. This is a series on Showtime, Murder in the Bayou. This is a true crime documentary that follows the unsolved murders of 8 women in Jennings, Louisiana. So there we go. And our last DVD for today, I know the sticker's covering it, is Moonfall. This is a sci-fi thriller, kind of horror actually, about the moon being knocked out of its orbit, and the scientists from NASA who are racing to save the planet from the predicted destruction there. You can see the moon and all that debris coming crashing down. But it's an impossible last-ditch mission that reveals the truth of the moon. So apparently the moon is an alien in this DVD. I'll have to check that one out. Alright, so moving into our adult fiction books, excuse me. First up, we have a new James Patterson book. This is 22 Seconds. This is James Patterson and Maxine Petro. This is actually about someone who has been killing police officers in San Francisco, and the story of Lindsay Boxer, a police officer in San Francisco who's being targeted next by this mysterious killer. And you'll see these tags on some of them. So these have a publishing release date. So the publishers of these books have put out when we can actually put these out on their shelf. So it looks like this one won't be available until the 2nd of May, which is only in a couple of days. But this one also is going to be an express item. So these are different than just normal books in our system. We have fiction books and we have express books. Express fiction books. And these these are just really popular items. So we predict a lot of circulations with it. So in order to get the book out to as many people as we can, we only put 1 rental period on it instead of the 4, and it's only for 14 days instead of 21. So it's just for really popular items we do that. And James Patterson is one of those authors where pretty much every time he puts out a book, we're going to have multiple copies of this just to meet the demands of the community. We have another express book right here. This is Amanda Quick's When She Dreams. This is set in 1930s California, in the golden age of Hollywood. And it is a glamorous playground for Hollywood stars, mobster spies, and a host of others who find more than they bargained for in this mysterious town. So this follows I believe a up-and-coming actress in Hollywood, and how she gets involved in some wrong people. She gets involved with some wrong people and is in bad need of help from a private detective, it looks like. So there we go. This is another book that we have, not an express item, just one of our adult fictions right now. This is Emily Henry's Book Lovers. This is a meet cute about a woman who is obsessed with books and an editor that she works with. It says it's a meet cute if it had never been cute. Apparently these two individuals do not like each other, but on her attempt at escaping the bustling city that she lives in and getting some relaxation out in the country, she runs into this editor that she doesn't like, and the two of them keep bumping into each other and having a whole bunch of a series of coincidences that maybe they get together in the end. I don't know. You'll have to read the book. So here we have The Stand-In by Lily Chu. This one is actually also set in Hollywood. I think there's a number of them in here that are themed for Hollywood. And this is about a woman, Gracie Reed, who is asked to be a stand-in for this famous Chinese actress in Hollywood, and the struggles that she goes through on trying to live the glamorous Hollywood lifestyle, and apparently it's not all it's cracked up to be. So there we go. This is The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. This is actually a horror, a horror thriller about a remote house during the Mexican War for Independence, and there's this haunted house that this woman is pulled into the sinister clutches of. So yeah, there we go. Excuse me. This is Murder on Madison Square by Victoria Thompson. It is part of the Gaslight mystery series. This frustrated private detective is asked to find evidence on this less than faithful husband by this woman, but there is just no evidence coming up, and then a few weeks later, the husband is murdered, and the woman who came to the private detective is suspect number one, but our private detective here, Frank Malloy, believes that there are deeper enemies in this tale. So there we go. This is a book called The Homewreckers by Mary Kay Andrews. Another one set in Hollywood here. This woman who was working for a restoration, family-owned restoration business, finds herself with the opportunity of a lifetime being cast into a beach house renovation reality show called The Homewreckers, as seen here. But there is more at stake than bad pipes and dry rot. During the demolition, evidence comes to light that points to a mysterious disappearance of a young wife and mother years before. So, and also I think it's a bit of a romantic comedy as well. Yeah, there's a love interest of the male lead who Katie Kavanaugh is cast against. So love, murder, and faulty wiring is the little blurb on the front. I like that. That's a fun one. Here we have a novel by Karen Wynn, Our Little World. This is actually follows the story. It's from the perspective of a 7th grader and the relationships with her family after a boy in her neighborhood cul-de-sac in, I think, New Jersey in 1985 goes missing, and the strained relationships between this young girl and the rest of her family, particularly her older sister, I believe. Yes. So there we go. We have this one right here by Nancy Atherton, excuse me, Aunt Damity and the Enchanted Cottage. This is set in a small English village of Fitch that a new person is moving into this riverside cottage with a romantic reputation. But the new person there, Crispin Windle, is a bit standoffish and repels all these welcoming gestures. And during Mr. Windle's stay in the cottage, he unearths some of Fitch's history that could either offer the town a chance to heal or start up a bunch of drama, I guess. The remains of a Victorian woolen mill that once brought prosperity to Fitch, but also contains a dark secret. So there we go, a quaint little kind of village thriller, I guess. Yeah. And the last one that we have in our box today is The Vigil Harbor. Is a novel by Julia Glass. This is actually set in it's in a town. It's 10 years from present day. This historic sailing town that is racked by climate instability, is confronting climate instability, political violence, lost love, and mysteries of the sea. Apparently, a whole bunch of characters in this town. It says there's a rash of divorces that upend this town, and then new alliances and allegiances are drawn here, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in the town, and apparently Julia Glass is weaving all of these stories into one big interconnected one. So there we go. That has been it for today's unboxing video. Thank you all for joining us. These will be on the shelves. It looks like most of them were May 3rd and May 2nd and May 3rd. So be on the lookout for any of those. They should be on our catalog, so you're more than welcome to place them on hold now to get at the head of the line there. So thank you all, and we'll see you next time. Bye.